middle school. All right? If you've ever been in middle school, you know the kids are dirtbags and the teachers enforce this. And you probably share this sentiment, statistically speaking. Your middle school experience probably sucked. And if it didn't, good for you. However, I almost punched somebody over a game of Uno on the last day of school. I'll go into that story just a little later. And before I go on, I need to say this so I don't get sued. Every story here is told for fictional and entertainment purposes. Okay, that good? I hope my lawyers cleared that up. So, a major issue is the corruption in schools. I'm being serious. It's a problem in every school. One kid does something fine, and another kid does it, and they get in trouble. Many, many different reasons. My school, you could get assaulted, and then they make it the victim's fault because they've quote-unquote spoken to the kid. I'll save that story to the end. Let's talk about my middle school. As I already mentioned, there was corruption, bad teachers, and this was an area where most of the kids were entitled because this was, the rich area of town. So the teachers obviously favored the rich kids over the lower class, which you could clearly tell. So, for some visual reference, this is a popularity chart of middle school. You got your top, you got your middle, and then you got your bottom. Top is where all your popular kids are, your middle is where your neutrals go, and here I was at the bottom. And teachers knew this. And a lot of the teachers, affected my grade because of my popularity. So some teachers treated you differently if you were popular or not. You could tell my 7th grade English teacher and the math teacher. It was more apparent in English, but if you were popular, she would mark you for points you didn't deserve. Now we have established that some middle school teachers are on power trips and use their power on the unpopular kids. But I want to talk about another issue. The kids. Middle school kids are at a point where they want to be both kids and adults. So they end up being cringy assholes. So let's talk about why I almost punched somebody over a game of Uno. Lore drop. I have a stutter, and I get overwhelmed easily, and I was overwhelmed, stressed, because it was field day, the last day of middle school, and I wasn't in a great mood. So I was reluctantly playing a game of Uno. Not the biggest fan of Uno, especially when the rules change every turn. So I got Uno, and, I said Uno, but I stuttered and said Uno. Then someone cuts me off, screaming Uno, tells me to draw the 2 cards. I'm like, I already said it. And then a random asshole jumps in, defending the person. I can walk away. I was just texting my dad to pick me up. Then this piece of garbage was screaming how I was obviously recording them. So now we have established 2 pieces of pie. The teacher's favoritism toward popular kids, and the cringy teens who want to be edgy. But the third piece, the administration, where you could get assaulted and they wouldn't care unless if you're a rich, white, cis boy. Now would be a good point of the video, before we get to the most interesting story, to tell you to subscribe. I have a goal of, 90 subscribers by, the end of 2026. And statistically speaking, if you're watching this video right now, and you've never watched me before, you're probably not subscribed. And you would most likely help our subscriber count go up. Helps a small creator, and thank you. Now let's go to the most interesting story. So I got hit by this boy, let's just call him Jimmy. This was a smug, cringy brat who was entitled because his mom was the chief of police. So if he did anything wrong, the school weaseled his way out of it. This kid kept picking on me. I told him to stop it repeatedly, many times. So he hits me. I reported immediately. So they review the case by not listening to my side at all. So apparently it was my fault for instigating because I told him to stop messing with me. Even though he hit me. And the class didn't get switched. Because, but he doesn't want to switch classes. So we won't. What do you mean? He hit me. And the school had a zero tolerance for when somebody's making threats. Where one of my friends got suspended for like a week because of this. This shows that the administration is very flawed. So, thank you for watching this. I'm glad YouTube's actually showing you my content, because YouTube's been, not showing people my content, and it's getting really up my nerves. And so, yeah. If you're still here and you haven't subscribed, it would be really cool if you subscribed. I know it's the second time I'm doing it, but you know what I mean? I'm gonna see you in the next video. This is sort of a part 2 to my most recent video. Well, see you later. Bye.